We're done up to handling fomite. So let's move on to medical waste disposal. So medical waste disposal is another way of precaution. Okay, so it's a standard precaution pa rin, wherein which we can protect naman ourselves at the same time other people. Um, so that it's called biohazards or biological hazards as any material used in the hospital kasi is considered to have been used on a patient. Okay, so especially the ones with excretions like saliva, blood, whatever. Okay, so any bodily fluids actually will be considered now a hazard to others. Receptacles of it need to be identified by a biohazard symbol. So you will see this maroon thingy. This is a biohazard symbol that should be seen now in areas or a receptacle that you will be using. So you make sure also to observe proper disposal standards wherein your receptacle, it needs to be leak proof. Okay, it has to be constructed that it does not have any leak. May it be a solid or more so a liquid waste disposal. So that this is now to maintain the sanitary condition so that if you have a leak, personally, if you have a leak now on your water bottle, so you've leaked that on your bag, diba? It is making your bag now unsanitary in a way. So that especially fluids or moisture now can be a good medium for bacteria to grow. Kaya we don't want sana any leak. Solid man, but more so for liquid. So more so also if we now, the leaking fluid is a body fluid, di ba? So for example, waste suka, although usually it's being disposed naman in the comfort room, yung mga ganon. Pero kunyari blood or mga sputum, mga ganon. So you don't want that to be held or disposed of inappropriately and leaking. Okay? So it has to be, aside from it being leak-proof, it has to be with a solid, tight-fitting cover. Okay, so that entry will not be possible in terms of yung mga flies, kasi the smell of the body fluid may now be, di ba, tawag doon, attracting flies or whatever rodent or so we don't want that to happen. Okay, so that all sweeping, solid or liquid waste, refuse, and garbage shall be removed to avoid creating a menace to health and shall be removed as often as necessary. Okay, so if you will notice, yung mga manong in our building always are there to remove basura, making sure that our garbage receptacles do not overflow, mga ganon. So that also our sanitation or sanitary condition per building or per floor is maintained. Okay? So just in case you will be seeing now unsanitary garbage cans, like they're overflowing already, you can actually call the manong to manage it. Okay? So also have manongs that will now take good care of the sanitation of the place. So they make sure also garbage is not overflowing. And we also have there our proper waste garbage color coding. So what did you see as color for the receptacles? Diba you saw two garbage cans and we saw there colored black and yellow garbage bags. So the black is for general waste. So any regular layman's waste. So any paper, basta, and not contaminated or not medical. And for the yellow receptacle, which should be up to now, should be empty because we haven't had any return demonstration yet, that would now be the receptacle for any hospital waste or return demonstration waste. Okay? So it's a biohazard even though we're not treating real patients, okay? Because na, it could now be misconstrued as biohazard that is not being disposed properly. Parang ganun kasi ang pwedeng mangyari. So, for example, we just use the gloves for demonstration purposes. It's actually not contaminated with the real patient. But if it, for example, lands on a in a layman's basura, they would now say that we're not disposing of properly. So even though it's not dealing with real patients, in the School of Nursing, we now dispose it via giving it to the laboratory technician upstairs, si Ma'am Sheila, because she's the one disposing now hospital waste, or she coordinates with the people who collects now hospital waste. Okay? So please make sure you observe proper color coding in terms of disposal. So for any hospital related, gauze, cotton, gloves, whatever. So please make sure you know dispose it on a yellow receptacle. And for all the other regular waste which we are having now, okay, kasi wala pa tayong RD, then please make sure you now are using your black receptacle. So same is true with the hospital. So depending on the institution actually, but most often yellow is the one used for hazardous waste, okay, or for hospital waste. Okay. So, yan. So next would be to uh, remove infection control program. Every hospital or every facility have a medical infection uh, control program. They have a head there so that they are the ones dealing with how to control infection or hazardous waste and so on. So especially if they are dealing with a special case, although almost all naman patients will be considered contaminated and infectious there. Okay? For purposes of protection, there could be some, for example, we now could have, I hope not, a case of monkeypox, then the medical infection control should have a program for that or should have a NSOP for that because it's a special, more contagious case or something to that effect. Okay, and then part of our medical waste disposal is also the disposal of the sharps. So can we share? Can we have some sharing of what you saw as a picture for the sharps disposal? Okay. Ayan, may mga nag-ano na. Hindi nagsalita nag-type. Empty water bottle. Yes, correct kayo dyan. Empty water bottle. Ano pa yung isa? We have bottle liquid inside. What could have been the liquid kaya? Okay, liquid bottle lang. Para pong small plastic box na may label lang po na sharp. Oh, really? Small plastic box. Okay? So that the problem with this would be the thickness of the disposal tawag doon, mechanism. So that there's a standard kasi that has to be puncture proof. So when you say puncture proof, it has to be something na thick, something na if ever the needles, the box will, or the bottle or the box will be squeezed, it will not render the needles punching out or di ba, puncturing out the gadget. So yun. Although still it is a lesser evil for us to use, di ba, mga soft drinks bottle kasi instead of us throwing it directly to the garbage bags, okay? However, again, it is still not an ideal thing. Okay? Kasi nga, it still is dangerous. It might now render the collector, di ba, mapiga lang ng konti yung water bottle. It's not puncture proof eh. So it definitely would puncture the water bottle. So, ayun. And why do you think do we resort to bottles, water bottles, instead of buying di ba, yung pinakita natin sa video, the red, tapos thick na mukhang ano. It's because it's expensive. So the expense of that, the high cost of that will now delay, will now, not naman delay, but will of the facility. Okay. So that a sharing was done by one of your black batchmates earlier. She used to were exposed to Red Cross. Okay, so sa Red Cross, ideal. So why, sabi ko, why kaya was it ideal? It's because Red Cross is an NGO. It has budget. Okay, and hence if you have budget or if you don't have budget constraints, you really can provide the actual na dapat i-render. However, for example, in healthcare hospitals that are low in budget, very limited po yung mga ideal na materials. Okay? So that it's good that we are resourceful. However, we still have to make sure others are protected. So what is a mechanism usually that nurses do to make sure it's really protected? They usually recap needles. Kasi pag ni-recap nga naman yung needles, at least it's puncture-proof already. Diba? Yun lang, kailangan nakadispose. Kasi baka mamaya, it could be reused. So that is also not a good thing that could occur to our sharks. Okay, so now we move on to universal precautions. So the past slides were all about standard precautions, although there would be more on standard precautions, in particular your PPE. Okay, so we'll just have to finish universal precautions. It's basically just parang infection control from infectious bloodborne diseases. Okay, and particularly protection for us as healthcare providers who now are working for this patient or serving now this patient. We have to make sure also that we get protected and we do not get diseases from them. Okay? So yun lang naman ang universal precaution. So this slide, nakita nyo na actually, but we'll have to itemize this na lang when we have our return demonstration. But what is the basic thing that we need to think of here is the mechanism of hand washing. So if you will notice, why are there a lot of steps and different pictures and different, we just want to cover all areas kasi of the hand. In our regular hand washing, there are areas that we do not clean. And that is a very good way to spread the infection. For example, na lang yung number 3, it is the interwebs. Okay, the web of the hand. We don't usually, what do you call this? We usually don't clean it. Okay, or we don't do that. But actually, that's important kasi usually microorganisms enter or go to those corners. Okay, so, number 6 also, your subungual area, your subungual space. Diba? It's the area kasi underneath your nail bed. So that in cases where we touch something, we rub on something, we scratch on something, a lot of microorganisms enter there actually. Okay? Hindi mo lang, you just wash your hands and then you now didn't clean or dry the area. That could now be a good medium for bacterial growth. Kaya it's a very dirty area. Hence, number 6 and so on. So the mechanism until the wrist part, tignan nyo. Hindi naman kayo nag-wash ng up to the wrist, di ba? If you're hand washing. Anyway, so the principle is covering all the areas of the hand. And that is why we have different steps in the hand washing. And also, of course, the more important thing is the use of soap. Okay? So the slide that you just saw was part of the hand hygiene. Okay? The hand hygiene is considered to be the single most important practice in the reduction of the transmission of infection in healthcare settings according to the Center for Disease Control. Imagine as simple as washing your hands. Elementary skill. That is a very important practice now that for us to be able to reduce the transmission of the infection. So that as healthcare providers, we have to really be mindful to always do hand hygiene. Ma'am, we cannot naman wash hands every time. So the hand hygiene actually kasi naman is a term encompassing the cleansing of your hands with soap and water. Okay, so cleansing of your hands pala. It could be in various ways. One is via soap and water, which you call hand washing, antiseptic hand wash or antiseptic hand scrub, or surgical hand antisepsis. So those are ways in which we can do hand hygiene. So we do not need to have soap and water all the time. Kasi nga naman, pag nag-soap and water ko all the time, tendency is that you will also age your hands. And we do not want that to happen. Or dry it. And then, if your hands are dry kasi, that is now na naman good situation for you to have wounds kasi it's not moisturized. Okay? So, these are the 5 moments for hand hygiene according to the WHO. So before touching or coming in contact with the patient, so it's basically protecting the patient, okay, lalo na if you've gone if you came from another patient. Before performing a clean or aseptic procedure also, of course, we do not want the clean or the aseptic procedure to now render, to give microorganisms in it or make it dirty. And after an exposure, risk to bodily fluids and glove removal. So, of course, any obvious bodily fluid contact, kung actual yan, you weren't able to glove your hand agad, then, of course, ASAP, you wash your hands agad. Kasi you'll never know. Ma'am, walang nakasugat. Please do not assume that kasi you'll never know. Baka mamaya meron pala. You're not just aware of it. You just ASAP clean your body fluid, the blood from your hands. And even from glove removal. Ma'am, I held the blood, but I was gloved naman. So again, do not assume because in the manipulation now of a patient and their body parts, you may now render the glove punctured. Diba? Kahit maliit na puncture lang yan, okay, nasira na, napunit ng konti yung gloves which you weren't aware of, you could now render again the entry of the microorganisms on your hand. So that, again, wash hands ka pa rin. Next, after contact with the patient and their immediate surroundings, plus number 5, inanimate object touching in the patient's room. Remember that there is already an internal microbial flora in a way or microbial environment that the patient now has developed. So that, kunyari contaminating or contagious the patient, please render now the area to be dirty. Hindi man dirty, pero yun, contaminated na rin. Okay? So it's not because nandidiri tayo sa pasyente, but it's because we want to protect ourselves and we want the protection also for others that we will be coming in contact with. Mapa-loved one mo man yan, mapa-patients mo man yan, or co-worker mo man yan, we would want the control. It's not because maarte tayo, it's not because we're nandidiri, it's not that. It's for infection control purposes. Okay? And doing that, please make sure that you do not show it naman to patients. Ay, ma'am, nakakadiri po. Or, ma'am, we don't show that. We just have to act on it naturally. It's just like muscle memory for us na as nurses. Okay? So next is, yun nga, na-mention na rin natin kanina, the hand hygiene isn't just hand washing. So these are some of the ways we can perform hand hygiene, hand washing, wherein we make use of soap. Okay, so as we have mentioned, the soap now reduces the surface tension on any area. So in our hand washing, it reduces now the surface tension on our hand so that it renders now the microorganism, the oils, or any other dirt washable, kumbaga. It can now make the water just slip out those things from our hand. Okay, or any surface for that matter, but we're talking about hand washing. Okay, and help prevent infections as people frequently touch their eyes, nose, mouth without even realizing it. Do you still remember during the pandemic, we were instructed not to touch any area of our face. Okay, kasi nga daw, from there, you get to spread infections or you get to have infections. Okay, so that there was even a politician or I don't know, I think she was a politician from the States na don't, the message she was trying to send to the people is don't touch your face inappropriately. And then at the end or before the end of her speech, she was touching her face. So it was a meme, it became a meme before kasi parang she was violating. So it just goes to show that people aren't so mindful in touching the eyes, the nose, the mouth. So that as healthcare providers, we have to be more conscious, be mindful in not doing that. Kasi nga, as we hold on to our nose, as yung pala yung nose natin ay may infection. So for example, we have a flu or something respiratory, we can now pass it. Imbes na safe sana yung hands natin, we now rendered it dirty because we touched our nose or something to that effect. Okay? If we don't have access to hand washing, meaning soap, water, we now could have the hand sanitizer, okay, or alcohol. Yeah. So those are two options. If, for example, you're nagmamadali or you're in a hurry, syempre from one patient to the other, you cannot naman go to the sink far from the patient, wash your hands, and go to another patient, and then hand wash again. So as simple as alcoholizing or hand sanitizing your hands will be enough. Okay. Although of course you make sure it's proper and make sure na low risk. That is why you use that. If it's high risk, then necessary to wash your hands. A high risk meaning you came in contact with actual body fluids or the patient is really highly contagious. Okay. Betadine, please do not use this regular basis on a regular basis because betadinizing the hand is used only in the surgical asepsis area. So in the OR, where you use now to, after hand washing, wash and scrub your hands naman with betadine solution. So that is now a form of hand hygiene as well. Okay, higher, of course, because it's surgical asepsis in level. Okay. So, however, despite this evidence, studies have repeatedly shown that the importance of hand hygiene has not been adequately recognized amongst healthcare professionals. Studies have shown that compliance remain low, unfortunately. Okay? So why? It's because we're too complacent already, diba? We have been doing this, ma'am, every day of our lives as nurses and so on. So we're not that mindful. I mean, ang rason mo is I don't get infection or don't spread infection naman. You'll never know. Or you don't have any idea unless may actual na for example, yung actual mong nailipat. But those minute things, you'll never know what you have given to your patient actually. So for us not to be the source of the infection spread, then just comply with hand hygiene. Okay? So marami namang sabi natin there are ways naman of doing the hand hygiene. And another thing when we talk about sanitizing or cleaning our hands is our skin flora. Okay, the skin flora has two main functions. Anong skin part man yan. It has microbial antagonism effects and competing now for nutrients within the ecosystem. So we have discussed this actually, microbial antagonism. Antagonism means contra. It's a villain against microbes. Microbe siya, ma'am, and then she is a villain for microbes. It's basically protecting now for example, your skin from any invading microorganism, which we call transient organism. So these transient organisms kasi are the ones that can proliferate. So for example, you had skin-to-skin contact with another person, any skin flora she has will now be your transient organism. Paano kung infected yung hand ni patient or ni friend, di ba? And you did not clean the area. So that the tendency for the transient flora is the one to proliferate. Okay? Yan. Although, of course, if your microbial or your skin flora naman is strong, it's intact, kumbaga, then tendency is that it can antagonize or kill the transient flora, or it could now antagonize whatever it is that you need. Yan. Another function also is competing for nutrients within the ecosystem. So it's basically much or simpler to explain it using now the gut the microbial flora. So we have a lot of normal flora in our gut, in our colon. And one of the ways they compete for nutrients is they feed on waste. So yung whatever waste materials that we have, they feed on it. And of course, they are good in terms of they're able naman to produce something. Basically, they now produce some forms of vitamin B, vitamin K, ganon. So that it gives back also to the body. Okay, so it's like an ecosystem for them to thrive. At the same time, consume the waste in our body. So we've mentioned this na rin when we tackled the microbiome, di ba? Wherein which bacteria are not pathogenic on intact skin. That is why the normal bacterial flora, okay, that is not harming you or not making you have symptoms. But may cause infections, as you have mentioned, di ba? Nung pina-explain ko to, some of your classmates even mentioned, ma'am, because they are in the proper area. However, if they now transferred, like for example, it went into a non-intact, into other openings like the eyes, sterile body cavities, it now renders infection or it can now cause infection. So in the skin, if it gets to be wounded or it gets to break, okay, tendency is that it gets to be a non-intact skin, and the microorganism could now enter, okay, and now render your area give it infection. Okay, so ito yung sunset flora that we were talking about a while ago. Yeah. So next would be the concept on PPE, still under standard procedure, standard precaution. So that those are the parts. Anything that you don't know there, so that's what you call your standard PPE. So there are variations for the standard PPE. If you will notice before, during the pandemic, di ba? Ma'am, ba't iba-iba yung costume? It now depends on the exposure or the things or people that they will be seeing. So for a standard PPE where you have a low spread, not so contagious, but still contagious area, okay, you now use the standard PPE. Okay, so that if, for example, you have a high spread, meaning higher incidence, uh, highly likely to be contaminating more than the usual, then you now gear up. What is the difference? Look at the goggles. I know, it's the same pala, the mask. Okay, so the mask now is from a surgical mask, it got to be an N95 mask na. Okay, from a without face shield, now she has a face shield. Okay, and the boots. The nurse now get to change the usual shoe and shoe cover with boots. Okay, waterproof boots yan. And if you now get to naman a highly contagious area, it was just termed confirmed case COVID-19. It's because this was adopted from an endoscope SOP. Endoscopy kasi is a procedure where they look into your internal GI tract, okay? Or from the mouth to the wherever they want to look into. But anyway, so we just borrowed this, pero it's the same kasi as the one we see in the area during the COVID area. So now, confirmed case COVID-19 before yan, ha? Meaning it was the contagious condition. Now, if for example, you now have a confirmed case COVID, we're not gearing toward that enhanced PPE anymore because the COVID now is not that not that threatening. So probably you could have a full PPE, okay, but not an enhanced PPE. So most likely, if ever people, hopefully not, we will be having monkeypox invasion. Most likely, that is where your enhanced PPE will be used pa. Okay? So what is the difference? You now have a medical cap or a hood. Okay, aside comparing it to just what do you call that? Hairnet. Okay. And then we also have here your eye visor are still there. The mask. It now is a respirator mask. Okay. N95 respirator mask. Double disposable gloves na siya. And still with the boots. And the gown is a protective overall na siya. So mukha na siyang astronaut. That's for full protection. The problem with this is that we cannot just get in and out of the suit. So that we've been hearing nurses stories before when they're in that suit, they do not pee for 8 hours because it's so difficult to get out of it and then come back. So they make sure that they pee prior and then right after they remove the suit, pee again. And they don't drink too much fluids anymore kasi nga it will make them pee and they can't help but if they go to the comfort room, they have to remove the suit. Hindi pwedeng hindi nila i-remove. Okay? So yeah. So these are the details of our PPE. So eye and face protection, we make use of goggles and face shield. So sa goggles kasi eyes lang ang pinoprotect. So from from splatter. Face shield, it covers now the body fluids, okay, splatter from the eyes to the nose to the mouth and other mucous membranes. Okay, so the goggles condition should now fit snugly over and around the eyes as or prescriptive lenses. So if you have glasses, your goggles need to cover it at the same time, snug lift it over and around the eye. So you're not supposed to be able to put your finger inside the goggle, meaning dapat protected yung buong mata area. Okay? So that, ma'am, may glasses naman ako. Remember that prescriptive lenses do not provide adequate eye protection. But it could be an initial protection. But over and around it, you cannot be protected because it could splatter and then enter over and around. Okay? Over or under the eye. Okay. Under the glasses, I mean. So for face shield, it should cover the forehead, extend below the chin, and wrap around the side of the face. Ganyan dapat ang official or medical na face shield. But of course, during the pandemic, what did we do? Di ba? Merong mga half shield, may mga, ano pa ba? Meron sa mata lang, pero face shield ang tawag, but actually that's not naman face shield. Basta ganon, hindi adequate. So that when you now have a face shield, make sure it's adequate for it to be medically approved. Hand protection, okay, so exact time the hand protection was first employed in healthcare is unknown. However, theories came up about when an obstetrician Walbaum covered his hands with sheep intestine as early as 1758 daw. So he used the sheep intestine, of course, sterile yan. Then from the intestine na, sheep intestine, nilagay na niya sa hands niya, then he performed the operation. Other coverings were also cotton, silk, or leather gloves. Imagine leather gloves. Okay, but anyway, buti lang nauso na ang rubber gloves nowadays. Okay, so remember for hand protection, appropriate gloving is essential. And always remember that there is no glove is impervious to all chemicals. Meaning no one glove material is resistant to all chemicals. Okay, so remember also that gloves degrade over time. So for example, you have been keeping that gloves for a long time, replace it as necessary to make sure you have an adequate protection because the materials they use for gloving degrades over time. Okay? Kasi nga, kailangan hindi siya yung masyadong masyadong tough na material for use ng human beings. Diba? So and tendency is that it can degrade over time. So there are two main types of hand protection, the medical and the surgical. Okay, so medical gloves are used for examination, for normal medical checkups and or minor operations. While the surgical gloves naman for operation purposes. So what are the differences of the two? In terms of the thickness, thin ang examination gloves, about 50 to 150 millimicrons lang. 180 to 250 ang surgical gloves. It's because it's worn longer and you are in a situation where you need to have more protective kasi nga mas maraming time it's being used in a body substance exposure or parang ganun, surgical gloves are always sterile while for examination gloves pwedeng sterile, others are non-sterile also. Madalas non-sterile siya, pero clean. Okay. So depending on the risk to be handled, you may use non-sterile examination or kung medyo may substance, use the sterile one. Okay. Or may opening, may wound si patient, gano'n. Okay. Short term si exam gloves, long term si surgical. Ambidextrous, meaning any one glove could be used either for the left or the right, the exam gloves. Sometimes the surgical gloves, you can determine which is right from the left. So you should not go wrong sa pagsuot ng gloving ng right or left. Okay, if it's not ambidextrous kasi it's more fitting, tight fitting, and you can now maneuver your fingers better. It's advised that you change surgical gloves every 90 minutes. Okay. So for example, the operation lasts for 4 hours, at least 2 or up to 3 times ang changing. Or in any type of perforation. Needle lang naman, huwag yung ini-needle lang ang needle perforation because that is the most common way that the microorganisms enter. Okay.
or lalo na punit, mas malaki yun. Okay? But never belittle even a needle perforation. Okay, so these are the types that you use, that we use locally. Okay, so we have the latex, the nitrile, and the vinyl. Although there are a lot more, so the latex, the vinyl, and the nitrile. So common, I mean, ano ba, familiar sa inyo? Here are the qualifications for latex. They have good resistance to alkali and acid, comfortable, good fitting, and feeling for hands. So meaning it now para kang hindi naka-gloves. So you'll feel that you're like you're not wearing gloves. It has a high elasticity and adapts to the shape. So when I use gloves, I usually would want a smaller or a snug fit. Kasi nga, if it's latex, it's fine. Kasi even though mas mataba yung daliri mo, so you have thick, fatter fingers, or hands, it can adapt to the size and the shape of your hand. It has a high tear strength and is waterproof. However, the cons here on the right are it's permeable to several solvents, poor resistance to chemicals, and allergic reaction because of the residual protein it has. So that's the most the biggest issue when it comes to latex gloves, the allergic reaction. So there are some people who are latex allergic, so that they have to have a special type of glove. So that in terms of the chemicals and solvents, make sure that when you go to an operation, look into what chemicals and solvents they will be using, so that you now do have an appropriate glove for the chemicals. Next is nitrile. It's a good alternative for people that are allergic to the latex gloves. Okay? It's natural rubber kasi that they use, and hence the NR na term. It's resistant to various chemicals, especially oils, fuels, weak acids, caustics, and some organic solvents. Eligible for handling most food materials in nitrile. Good resistance to mechanical stress. However, it has low level of sensitivity, which may restrict how well the hands adapt to and operate with the glove. So that if you're not used to this, you shouldn't be using this because it's like you can feel restriction. You will feel like you have gloves on your hands talaga, and you could have difficulty operating. It has low resistance to alcohol, again, some chemicals. So make sure also to look into what you will be using, so that it will now be appropriate. And the vinyl is most cost effective. It's the cheapest of the three. Since PVC is inexpensive, good for those suffering from skin and chemical allergies, as it is skin friendly. It is skin lesser skin friendly kasi it's parang drier than the first two. But it has plasticizer. So when say it has plasticizer, it now is adequate, not adequate for handling fatty food. The problem is the possible migration of the plasticizer into the food. So it's less stretchy, less comfort na siya, and less din ang elongation than the natural rubber. So hindi siya ganun ka stretch. So if you have fatter hands, fatter fingers, make sure you get an appropriate size, or else it will just tear. Okay? Again, for resistance to chemical degradation, ma-degrade ng chemical. And it has high permeability to chemotherapy drugs. So you'd never use that if you are to give chemotherapeutic treatment to a patient. So we're done with face and eye protection, hand protection. Now we move on to body protection, making use of medical gowns. So we have two types, the surgical and the isolation gown. The surgical gown definitely intended for the surgical procedure, for the OR, protecting both patient and healthcare personnel. Okay. Isolation gown, again, two purposes, protection of the healthcare worker, okay, from potential contaminants, and to prevent healthcare workers from transferring microorganisms that could harm vulnerable patients as well. Okay. So there are key features for both gowns. First, for the surgical gown, sterile po ang surgical gown for use during surgery or other sterile procedures. So that it offers a higher protection against fluid penetration. So the material that you should be using for hospital gowns shouldn't be parang waterproof. But it's not fully waterproof. It still can be wet. Pero for example, there will now be a spill on the uniform. Tendency is that the fluid that will spill will just flow down because it's in a way waterproof, but not fully waterproof. Okay, designed to maintain sterile environment during the surgery as well. Okay, kaya yung enhance the design. More form-fitting with secure closure. So you have closure at the back, you have a waist tie and a neck tie, meaning it's tied on the neck area. So look, notice then the height of the neckline. Okay, it cannot be V-neck, it cannot be plunging neckline because we need to cover most of our body. Okay, some additional reinforcement in critical areas such as chest and sleeve protection. Okay, so for example, it's a highly contaminated area or a highly medyo high risk area, then you can have additional chest and sleeve protection. But if you notice the sleeve protection, diba, the rubber, the parang garterized end of the sleeve, that is an additional protection so that it can snugly fit now your arm and not render the air entering in and out of that sleeve. And the height of the length of the gown is usually below the knee. Dapat below the knee siya. Okay? Key features of isolation gown, non-sterile compared to the sterile condition of the surgical gown. Used in various clinical settings, the isolation rooms, and during patient care activities. So in the ER, you usually see these isolation rooms where the nurse will just enter and give something to the patient, ganun isolation gown sila. Provides a barrier against transmission of infectious agents and is loose fit neck tie. Sometimes sleeves. It's not the usual na parang banded or with a rubber end sa sleeve in the surgical gown. Okay. So we also have here reusable lab coats. So we have, this is the most common for you kasi yan ang meron kayo. And the material should be in cotton, polyester, and polycotton blend or polyester cotton blend. Okay. So that these are the materials that would now be non-penetrative so much of water. It could be disposable or single use or the disposable coverall, which has materials such as the PP, PE, SMS. And it needs to be quality compliant, meaning the fabric performance of protective garment. Okay, meaning the material or the gown should have been should have used fabric performance for protection. Okay, so it has to be impermeable to blood and body fluid. It has to be virus resistant and it's still comfortable to wear. It's usually in other countries it's regulated, okay, for proper functioning, meaning and protection. So the gown material is usually non-woven synthetic fiber. So when you say non-woven, it now has no pores as much as possible because the pores will now be the areas for entry, diba? And we do not want that. So that if you will note some indisposables, diba? Walang butas-butas yan because we want nga non-woven synthetic fibers. Okay? It is used as protection levels. The protection levels increase like laminating materials na siya because it is used to strengthen, reduce permeability, or even make it flame retardant. Okay, so it depends now on the protection that you need. You have to also adjust the level or the fiber or the type of material that you will be using. Okay. It may be single or multiple layer. So the single layer is the one in blue, very manipis. If you notice, kita pa yung uniform ni nurse sa ilalim. So the most basic gown uses a single layer span bound sun-bond polypropylene. Yan yung material niya. Breathable and comfortable despite the non-woven characteristic niya. It's used for basic patient care, di ba? In the, what do you call that? Medical shows. You just see the care providers entering using gown, tapos they see one patient and then they go out, they dispose of it. So ganun po ang use niyan. However, of course, we don't use that often in the Philippines kasi medyo mahal siya. And what we use is a reusable one. So we gown inside, kunyari isolation room, we enter and then put on a gown. Before getting out, we remove our gown. Ganon yung isolation. Not so much of this disposable single layer material. Okay. It could also be used for laundry, housekeeping, okay, or clean up. Yeah. So, kasi nga, nasa hospital ka naman. So, don't use it in your homes, please, but in the hospital. Okay. So, for example, the staff from the laundry, they get the linens from your area. They usually have isolation, single layers gown like that. Okay. Yeah. So use single layer only when expected risk of fluid exposure to be low. Please adjust if, for example, you know that there is fluid exposure. Actually, this is an area where yung panglinis lang, meaning no fluid, no contamination masyado. Okay, just the regular microorganisms. But if it gets higher, like there's blood involved, we don't use this. Okay? Or the more contaminated cases. So we may use multi-layers, which could be made up by SMS or your spun-bond polypropylene. Okay, still comfortably breathable, but resist now tears and punctures and has improved resistance to liquid. So this is the difference now between the single layer. It could be more resistant to tears and punctures. Unlike the single layer, diba? You just split it with your fingers, it will be torn apart. Okay. At the same time, resist fluids more than the single. We also have materials such as polyethylene coated polypropylene plus PE. So this is SMS or your spun-bond polypropylene plus polyethylene. So this polyethylene added gives now a greater waterproof performance. So just in case you will need now more waterproof protection, then use this PPSB. Okay. And usually nga used for fluid-resistant areas to protect the wearer from liquid chemicals or biological hazards. We also have the most expensive, the microporous breathable film. Okay, so why is it expensive? Because even though it's still breathable, it's very thin, it's microporous, it's monolithic, that makes it impervious to liquid. Mapa water, mapa blood, it doesn't allow it to enter. Okay, but it's permeable to gases or water vapors, and hence making it highest or higher cost. Okay, with still performing, giving you, comfort and protection. Okay, so the others kasi, yan, when you have customized layers, okay, the higher the protective layer numbers, there has an increase in discomfort, meaning you have decrease in comfort. However, if you need it because the situation calls for it, like for example, there is a higher level of isolation need from chemical or toxic vapors, I think you will naman choose customized layers versus the discomfort, di ba? Kahit na ma-discomfortable na, basta protected, parang gano'n. Okay? So, in the higher customization or higher protective levels where you have now more layers, they usually increase lang the layers, like yung single kanina, tapos multiple. Kung may customized layers kayo, you add again to the layer, plus polymers. Yung polymers are additional protection and parts, parang ganon. That makes it more, higher in protective functioning. Yun lang, medyo uncomfortable na kasi masyado na makapal. Okay. Another is respiratory control.
So when you say respiratory control, it's basically talking about the control of the nose and mouth protection, okay, or nose and mouth dangers. So we have here the types of mask. We have the face mask, we have the surgical mask, and the respirator mask. So when you say face mask, it is the usual face mask that we have. The cheapest face mask that we had from Shopee is the example of your typical face mask. So if you would notice, cloth mask lang yung isa ay cloth mask, medyo makapal pa, but still it's cloth mask, so still under face mask na category. This blue, which looks like a surgical mask, probably did not pass the layering of the surgical mask, kaya nandito siya. And this black also, the most common, cute face mask, but actually it's just a typical source control face mask. So when you say source control, it's being used now by the general public and could now be used by healthcare personnel, but not as a PPE. So this will not pass as PPE, ha? Okay, so what can pass as PPE, makikita nyo later. Anyway, another type of face mask used for this is the protection for others. So it's given that you kasi have a cough or you have something and you now reduce the spread of your large respiratory droplets to other persons as you talk, as you sneeze, or as you cough. Okay? So that is a type of control, source control, meaning you are the source, you now cover so that you will not give it to others. Okay? Then reduces the spread of any contaminating or contagious disease. And in this case, again, SARS-CoV virus that causes COVID-19 from healthy carriers. Okay? So just in case you have cough or you have, basta anything respiratory, you now can be responsible by using face mask. And you are wearing it for source control or as source control. Another is for surgical or your surgical mask. So this surgical mask, if you would note, has layers. So these different layers, which is or should be regulated, meaning it should pass standards, okay, can now be used by healthcare professionals. Again, for source control, okay, but it could also be for protection mo. It could also be for your protection from other people. Okay, but then again, it's still not the highest form of respiratory protection. Okay, so source control is a surgical mask is loose fitting, disposable. It creates a physical barrier for potential big droplets pa rin from the immediate environment. So either it could be from you as a source or from your patient as a source. Ganon. Okay, it has to be regulated, and hence, before it could be labeled as surgical face mask, it should be, parang it should pass some standards. Okay, made in different thicknesses with different ability to protect from liquid contact. It also can affect ease on breathing, okay, but it's more protective compared with just the regular face mask. Okay, so it increases the protection, but it typically can lessen your ease in breathing. But it's better than having now your infection, di ba? Okay? So as a healthcare provider, sana yan po. So that if ako, I'm not so used to having mask anymore because I'm not so used to having hospital duties anymore. But for people who are every day in the hospital, they are so used to having the surgical mask. Okay? Another is for respiratory protection. So the other, so for respiratory protection, we have here, first is source control and for respiratory protection. Okay? So we now achieve that via another type of mask, which is your N95 or any other respiratory mask. Okay? Respirator mask, I mean. So the main concept of this is it protects you as a wearer. Okay? So kung kanina si source control, ang main ang main purpose niya is for you not to spread. Itong respirator mask naman natin is for your protection so that you will not get yon. So you will not get the contaminant or the microorganism. So it still covers the patient's nose and mouth or the entire face or head to help reduce the wearer's exposure from breathing in air So basically, it's for air droplets or the droplet nuclei spread containing contaminants such as small respiratory droplets. So in this case, COVID-19, what do you call that? Chickenpox, measles, and so on. TB, ganyan. So for the respiratory protection offered by respirator mask, they remove particles from inhaled airstream of wearer through a filter media. So the filter at least is filtering 95% of particles, hence the term N95. Okay, so that it now protects you. It has to have a good close facial fit. Okay? Kasi if not, then it will defeat the purpose of filtering now the air around you. Tapos nandun yung patient. Okay? So if it provides a very close facial fit, it now is a very efficient for airborne particle filtration. That is if it fits. So that if you will notice, meron siyang wire on the nasal area that is a part of the fitting. So you just have, all you have to do is to press on both sides of your nose. Teka lang, magpapakita lang ako sa inyo. So that you can see how it's done. Okay. So you have to press this way. When you fit may N95 ako eh. Kaya lang sayang, mako-contaminate. So this is N95. There are two types of N95. I think this is industrial. Meron din yung pang-medical. But anyway, so this is your N95 and you fit it this way. So you fit it sa likod ng yan. And then another. There are different types. Basta, ang hirap nito. Yan. And then you fit it this way, ganyan. Ipapress mo to. Ang tigas naman nito. Pero ipapress mo yan. You do not do this. Kasi when you do this daw, tendency is that na umaangat dito. Tapos wala na, hindi na siya tight fitting. So that you have to press this way para magko-contour siya sa nose mo. Tapos wala nang area of entry there. Okay? And then you make sure also na ito nasa likod ng hindi kasi ako naka-hair dito sa taas. Tapos yung isa nasa baba. Okay? So that would now actually yung mga respiratory mask must be fitted for the face. So it cannot be used by children because of the small facial size. So it will not, kasi kailangan mapapansin nyo, even my sound is different because totally covered po yung aking mouth comparing to this, di ba? Okay? So comparing to this sound, kasi nga may butas. So that lahat dapat covered. Yun ang purpose po ng respirator mask na N95. Okay? So it needs to also be approved by the NIOS or the NIOSH or the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. So that without the approval, your product, kunyari you produced one, will not be used or cannot be used for as a respiratory protection. Okay? Yeah. Next is, ayan. So these are just some of the additional tawag doon, infographics for contact and droplet precaution. So ano ba nakikita natin dito? Clean your hands when entering and exiting the room. So those are some reminders to be placed on rooms kasi nga kung minsan we forget already as healthcare professionals. So may hand hygiene dyan, 2 types ang pinakita, sanitizing and hand washing. For staff and visitors also, there is also a reminder. Yan. Tapos doon sa second page naman, contact precautions, andyan na rin yung mga the things that you need to do. So clean hands upon entering and exiting. Okay. And then upon exit, soap and water ang gusto nila. Okay, so it's cleaner kasi with soap and water. Yan. And then you have to be gloved, you have to be gowned, and again hand wash. And dedicated equipment. Yan. Here naman, airborne. So we have respirator mask and an AIIR Alam nyo na yan. Droplet. Again, but the room needs not to be an AIIR, but still keep the door closed so that the air will now be controlled. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far? Yeah. Wala na. Okay. So next topic will be antisepsis. So these are measures that exclude or destroy harmful microorganisms. However, this will now be, ito pala yung dapat na first so this will now tackle aseptic measures in the OR and methods of sterilization. So this will be our topic for next meeting. Okay? So antisepsis is generally through the use of chemical substances and to the elimination of microorganisms present on the exterior of patients. So that's basically the use and the definition of your antisepsis. Okay? So, differentiate nyo nga, anong difference na with asepsis? Kwento nyo sa akin next meeting. Okay? Any questions so far? So, this will be our topic next meeting, antisepsis. We will be ending our level, Unit 2 plus, we will start with Unit 3 already. Okay? Yan. Any question? If there are none, then you may leave the booth. Any question regarding kasi kanina ang pahabol, kaya medyo nagtagal kami, about portfolio. Any question regarding portfolio? Portfolio? Wala. So, ibig sabihin, yes.
Ma'am, any design po ba?
Any design. As long as you please make sure it's not, ano na nga ang description? It's not, parang ano siya, mas corporate kesa mas pang Instagram. Ganun.
Okay.
Yeah. It has, I mean, it's more of a formal side. More formal, pero pwedeng design. The better designs, the better. Okay? Deadline will be, when is your last day of exam? Sa ibang class kasi, basta yun. Basta, parang kumbaga, yan yung pinaka-last exam nyo. Parang ganon. 11:59 of that date. I'm not sure what is the last day. Kaya ang sinabi ko lang dun sa classroom is the last day of your final exams. Meaning, you're done with all your exams. Ang last nyong exam, sorry na lang, is your portfolio. Okay? So, what you do there for clarification, kasi may nagtatanong pa rin, the parts are already in the classroom. So, all you need to do is to read what the part is all about. Diba? May description doon what part, anong pwede mong gawin, anong pwede mong ilagay. So, what you'll do is to complete lang the part, tanggalin nyo na, of course, syempre, ikaka-copy-paste nyo yun. Tanggalin nyo na, of course, yung description, and then provide kahit one evidence lang. Kung ako sa inyo, umpisahan ko na ngayon, kasi kung minsan, mahirap maghanap ng evidence. Do not make this sa last day ng exam. Kasi wala, maubusan kayo ng evidence. I mean, in collecting. So, look into ano bang evidence ang kailangan ko or anong kailangan kong ilagay or isulat. You can start now, actually. Ang tanong din ng ibang class, ma'am, can I have a website for that? It's fine. Ang problema, kung minsan hindi ko na-access. So, please make sure you also submit, aside from your website link, a PDF copy. Yan. Although this PDF copy kasi will be edited pa kasi nga ang gusto lang natin, framework, tapos yung initial, kahit isa lang, minimum of 1. Pero mas maganda kung more than 1. Para diba, kung may picture ka na ng quiz mo, di ilagay mo na dyan, magandang evidence din dyan yung letter to yourself. O diba, kasama yan sa isa sa mga objectives. But anyway, ganon. Okay? So just in case you have any questions, yeah, meron parang may mag-question.
Ma'am, yung sa evidences po, pwede pong galing po siya sa ibang subjects po namin.
Yes, good question. Any evidence for the first sem actually is accepted because you only have one portfolio for your entire first semester. And any evidence, any learning from other teachers, not just me, pero syempre, yun, kasama dapat ako. But anyway, no, not necessarily. But any. Basta first sem mo, any subject, any instructor, any evidence. pwede. Thank you.